What's going on, everybody? This is probably the stupidest tripod that I have. I'm gonna try to find a place to sit. It's actually really echoey in my house, so I'm really sorry. Actually, you know what? Screw the tripod. This is really stupid. I'm gonna walk around a little bit. I'll probably go inside and outside. I'm just gonna be pacing around this whole time. I'm probably gonna look like an idiot. By the way, if you guys want some of this merch, you gotta get a time machine. Just because you gotta go back in time like a year and a half, 2 years, because this is my old logo, a long time ago. But I'm in Texas, as probably a lot of people can tell just by the background of my house and the puppy. Came back kind of for two reasons, Hurricane Irma, and also at the same time, my last sibling has left the house, and so my family's a little bit going through, or my mom and dad are going through a little bit of loneliness right now, so I thought I might as well just, you know, come back for a little bit. I was actually going to be uploading a Black Ops 2 video today, but that's not going to happen. Or it's not, well, it'll happen tomorrow. But I just got like my whole entire setup already fixed and ready to go. It's been kind of a little bit of a nuisance to get it all set up and prepared. But Sunday I was going out to eat with my parents and my older sister, and I was fine. Everything was okay. Nothing was out of the ordinary or anything. We were in like the middle of a Mexican restaurant. I was about ready to say some like final words for us about to leave because I wanted to know what we were gonna go do for the rest of the day, because I was getting ready to come back home and make a BO2 video, which didn't happen, but it's gonna happen very soon. I was about to ask what we were about to do for the rest of the day, and I took a drink from my tea, and all of a sudden I got like this really weird feeling in my chest, and I kind of thought it was just gas. So I was just like, I'm just gonna burp this out. I was like, give me a second. Are you following me? You're interrupting a lot. It is very rude. So it really wasn't coming out. At least I thought the gas wasn't coming out. So I stretched my chest out like a lot, and nothing like popped or anything, but I got like this just horrible pain in my chest. I've had this pain before. I had it a couple years ago. I had it mostly in middle school, a little bit in high school when I was going through a lot of growing pains. I used to pass out sometimes in middle school, and the occasional high school, I would pass out. The very first couple of times we thought it was due to me being dehydrated because I was always very active. And then we kind of realized it wasn't dehydration. It might have been something to do with just like me growing. That was basically the final verdict of it, was I'm just a growing boy and I'm going through a lot of growing pains to where my body can't really handle it, and that's why like I just pass out. Well, this time I had this feeling in my chest, and I've said this a couple of times whenever I have this chest pain, that it feels like an elephant is standing on my chest. Obviously not, because if an elephant would, I would probably die. But it's just very, very strong pain. It's very stabbing, hurts, and like pressure. It's very painful. And I put my head down and I just like said really quick to everybody at the table, I'm okay. And they kept on trying to talk to me, and then I was trying to get another word out, but the pain was so bad that I couldn't even talk. I remember just sitting there being like, if I move, it's gonna hurt even more, so I'm not gonna move at all. If you guys know the feeling of standing up after you've been like sitting down or laying down for a really long time, you stand up very, very quickly and you kind of go like very lightheaded, very dizzy, or you kind of, it seems like you're blacking out, like you're getting tunnel vision. That's what I kind of had. It felt like I was about to pass out. Now I've had that so many times to where I kind of thought, okay, it's kind of fading away. I don't think I'm gonna pass out. I did. I blacked out very fast. It was basically like the tunnel vision and then just blackness, and then I opened my eyes and I was looking at the ceiling, and then I saw, it was basically, it felt like I was in a movie just because everybody was basically around me. There was just a ton of people. I think there was like 8 or 9 people that were just standing around me, including my family. Felt really weird, but I was very aware of the situation, so I started talking just to make sure, like, okay, I'm just making sure that you guys know I'm okay, even though I just passed out in the middle of a restaurant. Well, at first I thought it was just passing out. Apparently what happened is my parents both told me right after that I wasn't just passing out, I apparently had a seizure as well. The last thing I remember is putting my head just on the table and just saying, give me a second, and that was the last thing I remember. Now apparently what happened after that is I actually looked at my parents and I tried saying I'm okay, but it didn't sound like words, it sounded like jumble words, and they made it out as I'm okay. Obviously they knew I wasn't. And the very next thing I did was I kind of like clenched really hard as if I was like trying to fight whatever was going on. And then my dad had run over to me and just made sure I'm okay, and so did my mom. They kind of held on to me, and then I apparently like kind of turned and looked at my dad directly in the face, and then he said I was staring at him, and like I said, I don't remember past, you know, me kind of being on the table like this. But apparently I was looking at his eyes, and then as our eyes connected, my eyes apparently rolled into the back of my head, and then I started falling, and my dad and my mom kind of let me to the ground, and I started having a little seizure. Very scary. Probably looked like I was possessed while I was looking at my dad. That had to be very creepy. Went to the ground and then stayed there for a couple seconds, seized, and then woke up. And that's, you know, like I said, in between the part of me putting my head down and my eyes opening, I don't remember anything else. I don't remember trying to talk. I don't remember trying to fight it. I remember I'm just gonna let this happen. My body was doing weird things that I didn't know about, that I did not consent to. I don't even remember looking at my dad at all. All I remember was being pretty much on the table, and then the next thing I know, I was on the ground looking at the ceiling with people looking at me. I was taken to a local hospital to where they did a couple of tests. One test was to check if I had a blood clot, just because I recently, you know, went from Florida to Texas, and there is a decent possibility, you know, from the high altitude, I'm not really 100% certain, but because of you flying on a plane, and I believe the altitude, there's a possibility for you to have a blood clot. The blood clot, you know, doesn't allow my blood to flow through because it's clotting, and then that causes you to pass out. Turned out that actually wasn't the case. I didn't have a blood clot, but the doctor did come in and he did tell me that my heart was swollen, or there was maybe inflated or something like that. I'm not really 100% certain. It was kind of, I was a little bit tired, actually very tired, very fatigued after, so I don't really remember too much. I do remember him saying that my heart was a little bit bigger than it should be. Now, he said that's more than likely caused by two things. One, stress, and recently it's not really like I've been stressed, but you know, I think of videos and I do videos a very good majority out of my day, and there are some other things that are kind of going beyond like the camera and in the background of my life, but really not too stressful. But there are times when you are stressed and you don't know it, so I do understand that. That is definitely a possibility, even though I don't really feel like I'm crazy stressed. It's a very pretty day outside, very pretty. And the other way that my heart could have been a little bit bigger is due to sickness, a prior sickness that I've had. Sometimes when you have like a flu, it can have causes like making your heart bigger. I've said this before, I'm really bad at explaining things, so I might be saying some stuff that's not exactly following up with one another, so I apologize for that. Are you gonna interrupt everything? She's about to come out. Do it, I dare you, do it. She coming through, she coming through. Hey. So I don't really know if it's those two things. I am a little bit worried just because of one thing that is in my family. My mom, a couple of years ago, went through a heart, rib, and some other surgery that was really crazy. As far as her heart goes, her aorta was flipped around. It was on the opposite side of where it's supposed to be, and it kind of caused a kink in like a vein or something, so her blood wouldn't necessarily flow through her body like it should be at a much higher rate than it should. Now, we tested this out yesterday of my blood pressure for whenever my arm is resting and whenever I put my arm kind of up, and then when I raise my arm, and the blood pressure isn't exactly like good. It should be a lot higher than what it is when I do happen to like test at those angles. And my mom also had some problems like this. She also had her ribs are shifted one spot, bless you, shifted up one spot than what they are, and we're kind of thinking mine are kind of the same way as well. That's what's causing the blood not to flow through exactly. Bless your face. She's just following me wherever I go. She's stalking me. Also, my bottom left rib is also dislocated. I got hit pretty hard. I'm pretty sure in baseball, probably like 5 years ago, and my ribs always been dislocated. If you look at a top view of my ribs, it's kind of like shifted like this, and I think they're also raised just a little bit, but I've never had any pain, kind of not, I haven't had too much pain from it to where it's been a lot. I have always said this so many times that I have a very high pain tolerance and it takes a lot for me to get hurt, and yesterday, I really felt like I passed out just from pain. I've never had that happen before. I really believe that. I really only passed out because of how much pain I was in with my chest. I've torn muscles, I've broken bones, I've cracked bones, I've had needles stuck in my body and my back before. It's nothing compared to the pain that I really had yesterday, which kind of freaks me out a little bit, just because if I do have, well, my mom does have It's a couple problems with that. That could possibly mean surgery, which I don't want to have surgery. So, you know, I'm a little worried. I do want to say thank you guys so much for, you know, loving on me through Twitter and Instagram and everything. I know I've kind of been taking this into like a little bit of more of like a joke, especially on Instagram. I just had like a little funny little caption, whatever on there. Follow me on Instagram, by the way. But it can get very serious. It can be, but I am very optimistic when it comes to these things. And, you know, even if it's really, really bad, I'm sure that I'll be fine. Like, I'll work through it every single day to where I'll be good. As far as right now, I really haven't had too much pain in my chest. Yesterday I had a little bit, you know, kind of pulses here and there, but nothing to where I like freaked out over. As far as the doctor's telling me, this is not life-threatening at all. I think I'm just very, very confused because we still aren't 100% certain of not only why I passed out and seized, but also the pain. They have a couple of theories on why I passed out, obviously, but the pain is like the key factor, and we're not really understanding why I had like such huge pain before I happened to have a seizure. That was why I was in the hospital. I'll probably talk about it a little bit more in some videos that happen in the future. Might keep you guys updated. You know, there are some things that I'm not telling just yet because I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I am definitely not scared. I'm not like crazy hurt on anything, but I think right now my status is confused is basically the biggest thing right now. One last final time, I want to say thank you guys for the love. It's really appreciative. You know, I know a lot of people don't exactly get what's going on, so I thought I'd update you. I wanted to also tell you guys another thing as well. I'm gonna be uploading a vlog every single day for the next year on my second channel. I'm doing that as of today, so if you guys would like to go over to the second channel, click that video, you can watch me do stuff every single day, and you can see all the cuteness every day. It is every day, right? I am not 100% certain when I'm going to be back at the Red House. As far as I know right now, because of Hurricane Irma, the guys are currently without power, and it is projected that they don't have power for a couple of days to possibly a few weeks. So I am kind of lucky I am here right now just because I will be able to upload some stuff. So I'm gonna keep doing my thing until my heart does something dumb, and then we'll talk about it. But until then, I hope you guys have a good one. I will see you in the next video whenever it is. Peace.